My guest today is Brad McCaw, musician, composer, actor, producer.
Show off.
My God, he does everything.
I've had enough of this bloke already. Hasn't even talked yet.
We have had the funniest conversation.
It's been a ball.
It has been, and we've been talking about Becoming Bill, which is Brad's brand new musical. Brad, where can they find out about it?
You can find out about it becomingbillmusical.com. You can Google me, Bradley McCaw, bradleymccaw.com. You can find us on every social media site that's ever existed.
Plastered. He is plastered everywhere.
I am on other people's sites. I'm just jackhammering Becoming Bill everywhere.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Stay tuned right to the end. I'm Robin Cook. This is Stories from the Red Couch. I know you'll love it. So, Brad,
Yes.
I'm so keen to talk about Becoming Bill.
Wonderful.
Well, not that I'm becoming Bill.
No, well, not yet, but we'll leave a few more gaps.
Okay, so tell me about Becoming Bill.
Becoming Bill is a musical that I have written. It's a musical that's it's premiering in Brisbane, in Queensland, in August this year, and it's been in development for about 9 years since I was called out of the blue. I got a phone call that was asking me to write a musical. So
that's fantastic. I mean, how many phone calls do you get?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Brad. Can you write a musical for us?
I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. Was what happened?
No, you did not say
well,
that.
no, I didn't say that in so many words, but I did say you've got to be. Why? Like, that's ridiculous. Why are you asking me to write a musical? And it was someone that. So it was a company based in Brisbane, Joy Mars Creative at the time. And there'd been some sort of process, and they'd become aware of my music and my songs. I wrote songs and played rock bands at the time, and they just said, look, we think you'd be really good at doing this. And I said, well, okay, but no. And then I did it, and the result of that was a successful showing at the Judith Wright Contemporary Arts Centre, and people stood up at the end, and people clapped, and people had, I guess, some sort of experience.
Positive response.
I guess either that or just like, thank God it's over. Thank God you stopped singing about yourself, you indulgent idiot. No. And so I think that was the moment that I just wanted to recreate as a career, and I've tried to set about that for the last 10 years, becoming a more skilled and entertaining writer.
You're also a singer, aren't you?
I am.
10 tenors? Is that what I read?
You did read that, and you read that correctly. Well done.
That's fun. So I've seen you perform then.
Yeah. I was with them for not a long period of time, but in 2004 was my first professional contract. I was a very young lad. And
that must have been so exciting.
It was terrifying, to be honest, Robin. It was exciting, but I was young and naive, and those things aren't specifically related. Some people can be young and not naive, but I was young and naive, and had very little experience, and it was a very big learning curve, and set the scene for what would become my career, travelling and doing all sorts of things. I've been very fortunate, and and with this show as well, to bring it about to a huge. It's so exciting that it's happening.
So I really like the artwork.
But yeah, it's Moonshine Madness. It's a Queensland.
I love it.
Yeah, Mel Baxter, her company, Moonshine Madness. She does everything that I do. Has so far, will until she stops taking my calls, and she's fantastic. Look at it; it's beautiful.
It's really
very
in fact,
beautiful. The Any Moment one, she did that.
Okay.
She did.
All right,
she's amazing.
So when I open the little gatefold here...
Yes. Oh, that's a technical term.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just made it up.
Yep.
Your name is everywhere.
Yeah, that's what show-offs do. They put themselves...
Tell me, what elements have you done, and how hard so two-part question.
Okay.
What elements have you done, and how hard is it to get other people to come along and help? Do the other bits.
So, great question. Musicals are huge.
Yeah.
If you've seen one, obviously you know. Like anyone that's seen one, knows that there's so many things going on, and I as I just told you, came to it by accident and had no idea what I was getting myself into. And so I wrote the story and the music for this in the beginning, and that's obviously not what is done traditionally because they're such big beasts that they would say, get someone to write the lyrics and music, possibly someone to write the script, do the dancing. I don't do the dancing, you'll be happy to know. Somebody else helps with that. But it's coming from a performing background. I have a wide range of skills from being in the industry, working for like 15 years isn't a long time necessarily, but I've stayed diverse and only ever done music for a large period of time now. Entertainment is what I've done. So I am unusual in that I have experience across a wide range of things. So with this particularly, it's been around since the part of my career. So I do so many different parts because that was just out of necessity in the beginning, and it's become now out of joy. I'm orchestrating the show because I love the opportunity, and we're scoring. It's a small 2-week season, so we've got a smaller budget than a big Broadway show, which is planning to run forever if they're lucky. So we've got a small band, and so I'm scoring for these 4 instruments. I'm having to think about that, but there's lots of people that help. To answer the second part of your question, there's lots of people that help that make it what it is. Neil Gooding's directing it. Was the head of works at New Musicals Australia. Neil Gooding Productions, his company, invests and produces. He produces on Broadway. He works, all around the world.
That's fantastic. Is he a Brisbane boy?
Well, it's funny you ask. I think I have to go back and check exactly where his genesis is state-wise. He's worked in New South Wales for quite a long time. He has some sort of connection to Queensland, which he's not completely forthcoming. So Neil,
okay, we need
to find out, and he doesn't mind talking about it. He's just never told me, or he hasn't. I've forgotten. So either way,
give you my number and we can talk.
Yeah, you're next on the red chair, on the hot seat, because it's red.
It's red and it's hot under the lights.
Under the lights as I pour beer. The pressure got to me.
I know.
It got to me.
So, Brad,
it's
like being a small business owner in some ways, isn't it? You have to have a really wide skill set to be able to pull things together.
Yeah, it really is. And it started off like that in the beginning because there's a lot of companies that will invest in musicals. Like you look at Fangirls, which is opening, I think it's STC is doing it, and then Queensland Theatre is doing it. I know Bellevure's a part of it too. Every man and his dog wants to be a part of this show because it's a wonderful new musical, but not every work is so lucky. There's a lot of shows you have to drive it from somewhere, and it is like having a small business and investing in your product and building your client base and all that stuff that you just don't want to think about when you're just trying to make someone sing this song. It's a very strange thing, but that's where we're at in Australia now too, with that we're building these careers, these industries based on other traditions from around the world, and we're trying to monetize them, and we don't have the years of experience that have grown those.
Or the population.
Yeah.
Which is what you really need to make something like that successful, do you?
Well, the numbers would say that the more people, you're right, the more people that can come and see it, the more likely we are to make back the amount of money it takes to put it on, because it's just the sheer numbers and the scale of the thing is just, it's not like a one-person show. For example, with me just playing piano, I can take that anywhere, and well, whether I pay myself or not is
you're gonna
and let's be
around
honest.
A piano,
let's be honest. I get where you're going at, Robin, and thanks, but it's a challenge. But I think we're in a time in Australia where I think it's an exciting time to be part of the arts, and particularly because there's a lot of new projects blossoming, and
I think so too, and I think that musicals are having a resurgence in the sense that there seems to be a few. In fact, I think you're the third guest I've had on with a musical.
Oh, geez, it's an epidemic.
I know. Actually having 3. So I had Katie with The Girl's Guide to World War.
Yeah.
And then I had Riley with In-Flight Entertainment just recently, and now I've got you with Becoming Bill.
Oh my God, you poor thing.
I'm loving it.
Did anyone try and sing their feelings at you?
No.
Well, see, then obviously. I'm not going to. I don't know why I was going with that. Yes, I am. No, I don't know. That was a really, really silly segue, wasn't it?
So I'm just
persistent, making you sing. No,
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ask, where did the story come from, becoming Bill?
Ooh, great question. So you know how I was saying before about how I got called out of the blue?
Yes.
That was where the story came from as it stands now. So when I got asked to write a musical, I based it on my life because I'd never written a story before. So I started writing about...
So you're Bill?
Yeah, there is a lot of Bill that is very similar to me. It is not all me anymore because it's a story, but
Sure.
You know, there's a brother that won't get off the couch. That exists in the world of the show, but did it happen in real life? If you ask my brother, he'd probably tell you no. My sisters, I know, were in it. So there's a lot, you know,
sure.
that's real and not, and what that is now is up to the people that see it and what they want to think.
Yeah, okay.
But it at the time I started writing it in a one way, and it's developed now to a point where it's about me writing the show.
Sure. Okay.
So it's about me getting the call and writing this musical, and how telling a story about your family, how me writing this show and basing it on my life and my family, or this family in the show, how it sort of sent changes through everyone and changed their stories by Bill trying to tell his.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's very domestic, and it's very... it tries to tell an ordinary story in an extraordinary way.
Yeah. How many people in the cast?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's small.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
nice,
I believe
because
so.
you kind of get that intimacy, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
With a smaller cast.
Yeah, I feel so. Yeah, it is. It is. You do.
Live music?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm writing it. It has to be.
Well, that's exciting. So what does the band look like? What's the band made up of?
Well, you'll have to come see the show to know for sure. Only
Okay.
because I'm going to tell you, but it could change. At the moment, we're looking at piano, guitar, violin, and bass is what we're looking at. Look, I'd like to have a larger string section. I'd like to have maybe some rhythm, like some drums or something, but there's not enough money to go around.
Them, haven't you?
Unfortunately,
Everyone
they just
has
don't
to
work
be
for beer
paid.
anymore. The union has done terrible things for
And
musicians.
Exposure. How does that? I mean, how has that played in your life? I'm going to. This is just like a
sidestep.
complete change of subject.
Hang on. Let me
have a drink.
Let me
because
hydrate.
There's this pervasive attitude where someone will say, oh, I'm looking for a musician or a photographer or a writer or whatever, someone who would like some exposure.
Yeah.
How has that played out in your career?
Well, I think I haven't always found that to be a dirty conversation.
Okay.
I wouldn't frame any time I'm saying to someone we have no money. That's more how I would put it. I would not say exposure. It's a framing
honesty.
of that I have some. Yeah.
I think that's where the problem is.
It's like you want to do this
in the honesty of it, isn't it?
Yeah, or like this. Yeah, and maybe it's just a little roundabout game that likes to be played, but in some ways, I've never got it, because you're right. Inevitably, you go, well, there's no money, right? Like you can say whatever you want about exposure, you know. Is that a clothes reference? I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's. I think in any. You know, you said it like it's like a small business. I think that's a really great comparison. And any small business owner that started something will probably tell you that they had to put in more work than anybody else to get it off the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mortgage. Sell your firstborn child.
If you're lucky. But and expand that out, and then you have a whole industry of small businesses that are trying to drive to the point in which that they're all monetized and that they're all, you know, and that's been really challenging through, I think, many generations, particularly in the arts and musical theatre in Australia, because we, you know, would audiences come and see the small intimate shows? Maybe, maybe not. Did they previously? Probably not. They didn't have the same palette they do now. Now it's people are interested in kind of taking a risk. But then again, sidestepping my own point, you go and see like I'm just wobbling on now, but like do Australian musicals, do we go Australian movies, do we support them as much as we should to build that industry? I don't know. I know I certainly don't, not as much as I should. So what I'm getting at is that I think there is a lot of reasons to advocate
everyone just to go out there and support their local industries regardless of what it is.
Yeah, and also that sometimes we just have to do things for nothing to get things going.
Yeah, we do.
You know, but then not that continues to build something of value.
Yeah.
And then that
I think that, you know, at the end
the
game,
principles are right. I think if the intentions are good, I think there's a good reason to do it. And I've done lots of stuff
particularly
for free, for exposure. However you want to frame it, I've done lots and asked people to do it. Yeah, totally.
In a collective, then everyone's going towards the same goal, aren't they?
Yeah. But certainly with would you like exposure is not.
It's not a good
framing of that that whole
Where
scenario.
is Bill going to be shown at?
It's at the Brisbane Powerhouse in the Visi Theatre, and we open in August.
Oh, so...
And we go on sale the 23rd of this month. So if you're watching this now, wherever you are, 23rd of May, you'll be able to go and buy tickets.
Buy tickets online?
Online.
Whereabouts? So tell us, where can people buy tickets?
Well, you can go to the Brisbane Powerhouse website, which I think is brisbanepowerhouse.org. I actually don't know.
Just Google it and they'll find it.
Yeah, you can Google Brisbane Powerhouse or Becoming Bill, becomingbillmusical.com. Becomingbillmusical.com, you can find out about that. Becoming Bill is all over every social media you want to look for, and also the company that's producing it, Old Fashioned Production Company, you can find them everywhere too. And if not, just write me a letter, and I'll get it in about 6 months, and I'll say you missed a show. But you know, the thought was really lovely. I appreciate it. Yeah. By the time they get that, the next season will be on, so that'll be great.
And that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So if you've got plans for, I know that you haven't done this season, but
I would love for I would love for us to get to Off-Broadway with the show. That is my big plan. I think I'd like to be a part of shows that start here and then travel globally. I think that's a possibility, and you know, the better we get at telling these stories, the more likely we can.
And they're universal stories, aren't they?
I think that's right. I think that's been part of the challenge previously with Australian musicals. Maybe they've been very Australian.
Well, and the same with cinema and other.
Personalities are tricky sometimes though too, because look, I don't want to get too annoying or anything, but like the American personality, I think about this a lot, obviously, but like the way Americans talk and are who they are, that lives a certain way on the screen. And we see that as a certain way, and so we kind of are used to enjoying that type of art. And then when we see us on the screen and our personality, we go, well, that just doesn't look right. I don't act like that, first of all, is what we probably think. And then, like, I can't detach from this. I can't escape, possibly. It's not, there's something about, the way that other countries kind of verbalize an act that kind of makes it a bit more important, as opposed to we're kind of, it's no big deal, So that doesn't make for good storytelling. It goes, what do you think? Nah. Doesn't make for a good story.
No, it's not quite as exciting.
It's not ideal. Yeah. It's not like, let's go kill them for the sake of a gun. You know what I mean? It's a totally different story. But anyway, that's something I think about quite a lot. So I don't know if you're really interested in that at all. I know we are, but you're watching. I hope you are.
Yeah. They will be. They're loyal. But what we want you to do is go and see Becoming Bill.
Yeah, that'd be great.
In Brisbane at the Powerhouse Museum. Yes, not museum. No,
the Brisbane Powerhouse.
Brisbane Powerhouse. Yeah. Yep. Go there. And one more time with the website.
becomingbillmusical.com. becomingbillmusical.com. Yep. And you can hear the record on Spotify, on iTunes. Cool. You can order it online. You can get it everywhere. But
fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me on and having a ramble.
Fabulous. I know. We haven't finished. Well, we have finished with you, but we haven't finished because I think that, we've got another conversation.
Great.
Thank you for joining us. I'll see you next week.
Or just call Becoming Bill really loudly outside your window and a pigeon will come along with some tickets. That's our preferred method of delivery.
That's fantastic. We're incorporating all technologies here.
That's right. Yeah, pigeons aren't to be left behind in this technological revolution.